In this video, I will share my personal performance curve with you, meaning the profits but also the losses I realized in the time frame of October 2013 until the 11th of November 2022. So this is a really exciting story, I would say. There are some surprises in there you maybe might not have imagined. So feel free to watch this video. As promised, please find my Since Inception Report here. This is taken out of Interactive Broker's Portfolio Analyst. It's a function there, meaning you can extract your full performance, custom period of time, and so on there. So it begins on the 27th of October 2013 and ends in this case on the 11th of November 2022. This is where I generated this report. So during that period of time, I had a performance of 545.35% in total. This equals to an annual return on invested capital of 20.9%. What I would say is, really very good compared to what you can earn when you bring your money to the bank and wait until something happens there. Keep in mind, when you have a look at more or less the middle of this graph here, I was not trading for almost 13 months. This is the flat line you can see here. It looks like there has been no heartbeat, meaning no trading activity at all. It was a 13-month period. I have not done anything because, as you can see here, at the end of 2017, I really had to cope with some huge challenges. And to be honest, it took me a while to analyze, to find out what happened. And really, in this case, stand up again. Review my strategy just to come back to the market in August 2019. That's also something that can happen. It's a part of the whole journey, of the whole story. It's very important. You're not here to earn all the time. No. From my point of view, options trading is about especially managing the crisis, and there will be plenty-fold of crises coming to you. Not just this huge and obvious one here, but always a few little ones in between. Look at this drawdown here, for example. Look at that one. It looks small, but if you zoom in, it would be much, much bigger. Or also, of course, in our current bear market in 2022, there will also be some remarkable drawdowns, at least in my portfolio here. But I'm not out of line because of that, because I'm taking over full responsibility of what I'm doing here. I would say I know what I'm doing. So if I'm not positive in a year or a part of a year, it's like it is. You always have to ask yourself, what did I learn during that period of time to make me better? However, in total, of course, it is my clear aim to be positive and also to outperform the major indexes such as the Nasdaq, the Dow Jones Industrial and the S&P 500. And you can see these three guys here at the end of my chart. They are the dark green, the yellow and the light green lines here, so they're somewhere down there, gaining some profits. My performance curve is up here, although I also need to say the year 2022 brought me some challenges. That's my first bear market, of course, with some other geopolitical things happening, so a lot of trouble coming together at one time. But I decided in Q1 2022 that I wanted to stay invested because this is a huge chance to learn something. I also asked myself, okay, how about if I would lose some money until the end of the year? Would I be willing to do that in exchange for learning some things, getting experience? And my clear answer, I did not have to ask my brains for that. My belly, my guts told me, no, you have to do it. That's an exciting time. It will be hard. but you can learn a lot. And I always imagine if I would be, let's say, I don't know, hopefully I can be 80 years old or something like that. And then a situation like now would happen and I would not have this kind of experience and maybe lose a bigger amount of money. With no chance probably to correct it in some future years. Could I look into my mirror and see myself there and really saying, no, you really burned a lot of money? Clear answer, no. This means take your time, especially in younger years, to invest in yourself, to learn something. So you have more and more experience, especially when you get older and maybe might not have too much time left to correct some earlier mistakes. That's my clear advice. At least this is how my thinking works and my strategy is built up. We had the best one-day gain of around about 20%, the worst one-day loss 19%, and that's again through to the whole time span here. So from my experience, also when you go to a yearly view, the best one-day gain and the worst one-day loss is usually around the same percentage point. This is what I can also tell you here. So now let's have a deeper look in 2 years. The year 2017, it looks like this. This was by far my most successful year. However, I had a lot of sleepless nights because this was really trading on the edge. That's something you can do. I don't know, when you're really looking for a challenge every day and do not want to sleep too much, and I don't know, really, it takes time. It goes onto your nerves, I clearly need to say. And to be honest, I do not need to repeat a year like 2017, although it was really very, very successful. You can see my peak was at 125% earnings only in this 1 year period of 2017. That's of course a huge success. However, the full year performance, because things came down a little bit at the end of 2017, was still plus 96.68. So I still remember at the end of the year 2017, my clear goal was, okay, now in the next few years, my goal is always to double your capital, meaning I want to make plus 100% in the year 2018, 19, 20, and so on. Things brought me down to reality a short while later, and I'm not sad about it, although when you are really in the middle of a situation of a huge drawdown, you feel much different for sure, but that's a part of life. So yeah, take it serious, but always have a look into the future, and things will get better. What's also quite interesting here, for a while, not just in 2017, but also in 2016, I remember I was in the part of 2018, of course, I was only trading with Facebook, nowadays called Meta. This was my underlying asset during these 2.5 years, probably. That's another very interesting thing about options trading. You do not have to look at 10, 20, 30 different kind of underlyings, maybe some indices or QQQ and a bunch of equities there, Apple, Facebook, Microsoft, and so on. No, I clearly have to tell you, one underlying is enough. The reason for that is when you know what's going on there and you are really very interested in seeing how this stock develops and really know about the news, what their business model is, and probably also use their products, you can earn with just one underlying stock during a period of time. Because with options trading, you have the chance, especially when you sell options. This is my business. I'm short selling options, short puts, short calls sometimes, but I would say in 95% of the cases it's short puts. You can earn in periods where the underlying equity is going up, is going sideways, such as in summertime, like in August, a very good month to earn money. at least for this strategy. And also when it declines, it goes down. And this is why I was only concentrating on this stock. And this stock was in a very, very clear uptrend for quite a long time. Nowadays, it might look a little bit different with this kind of metaverse they are trying to build. Hopefully it will be successful. So what happened at the end of the year 2017? Yeah, a really exciting year of 2018 was coming. So everything still went well. And suddenly you could see a huge drawdown, I realized there. So I had a maximum one-day drawdown of almost 20% again. It was minus 19.11. However, in this year, as I showed you before, there should have been a plus of maybe, let's say, around about 20% as well. But it did not come here. Why not? Yeah, because I stopped trading. I also took out money from my brokerage account here and put it in other parts of my life because I clearly said, no, there was something really, how to say, serious happening there. And I can also tell you what it was. Just, some water, sorry. Okay, sorry. So at one point, here in the year, I was traveling. I was internationally traveling, and this took around 2 to 3 days, traveling from Germany somewhere to Southeast Asia, and several stops where you did not have too much internet access and so on. And when I was landing on the airport in Vientiane in People's Republic of Laos that time, I still remember, I turned on my telephone and I bought a fresh SIM card with internet access and so on. And then I have seen, wow, what's going on here? The Facebook share dropped quite a lot, around 10 or 12% that time. However, if you're working with leverage, what I am doing, it's not 10 or 12%. It's much more. It's maybe more than 20 or 25 or something like that. And I had no information because I was traveling 2.5 days, cut off from all sources of information. And then I quickly really needed to sit down, rub my eyes and see if this is really true what I'm seeing here. And quite fast need to get access to information. And what I heard is, now it's about regulation and maybe some authorities try to break up this company because they want to regulate social media and all these things. So there was a lot of fear in the market. And at this point, I was not able to judge if this is really a true story or if it's just some kind of headline that will disappear the next day and so on. So full fear caught me. And fear is not a good companion. Yeah? Keep this in your mind. Fear is not a good companion. It's forced evidence appearing real. And this was my feeling. Oh, no, this is the new situation. I need to get out of the market and then get information and later on come back and correct everything. So I exited my whole portfolio. And this was my mistake because I was completely guided through fear, number one. Number two, I had no information what's going on in the market, especially with my underlying stock here, meaning I lost the contact to all sources of information. And remember, only during a time frame of 2 or 2.5 days, meaning working days. So very clearly, if you are invested like me that time with round about €500,000 of euro, a little bit more, $500,000 of US dollars, you need to be at the source of information almost 24 hours. If not, I would clearly recommend you exit all your positions in your portfolio, maybe be a little bit invested but extremely conservative, and then you can go to holidays or travel somewhere. So that's a huge lesson learned. And it took me a while to really figure out what happened and what's going on. And this brought me a performance of, believe it or not, minus 42.44% in 2017. This has been one of my really worst performances so far. The worst one in these 10 years, 2013 until 2022. And also, that's another wow. The gap between the peak and the low in that time in 2018 was almost 60%. So at a point, my whole portfolio went down 60%. So at the beginning of the year, I was realizing some gains. Yeah, no problem. But then from the peak of these gains to the low, there is a distance of almost these 60%. So remember the year before, I earned these kind of 96.68%. But just 1 year later, I had a minus of 42.4 into 44. You do not need to be a genius in mathematics, but please do not calculate it wrong, meaning it's not like, 96.68 minus these 42. Oh, you're still 50% in positive. No, it's not like that. You need to actually earn the double of these 42.44% to come back where you have been again. So it's almost destruction of the full year 2017 earnings. But that's a part of it. So come back to the first slide. Remember, this is the Inception report. You can see my flat line here. This was the whole occurring 2017 and 18. And then I just readjusted myself here. Not my strategy. The strategy I'm using nowadays is the same. I'm selling short puts most of the time. I'm not concentrated on one title anymore. I do a little bit more titles, the same as before 2016. It's working pretty well. I'm learning a lot right now in the bear market. I'm fully invested since the beginning of the year. I did hundreds of trades until this point of the year. And I'm clearly much better than my, let's say, competitors or my friends, Nasdaq, Dow, and S&P. And this is what I wanted to share with you. This is my personal records from the last 9 plus a little bit years, and I will continue with these because that's my own measurement on how I'm seeing my performance. Maybe one last statement here: do not compare yourself too much. Don't give yourself too much pressure in being better than some indices or something else. No, because from my experience, working under pressure will also sooner or later cause harm to you. That's not what you want. Better only have a look at yourself. Have a look at yourself to be profitable. If it's 0.5% you're earning in a week, it's fine. If it's maybe sometimes 4% or 2%, whatever, it's also fine. Do not think you are the best if you had a good week and really earned a lot. There is no magic code you can crack, so you will be automatically successful with everything you're doing. There's just one magic ingredient that you really need to take care of very, very well, and that's yourself. No, it's not just yourself, it's your mind. Yeah, it's your mind, meaning this is clearly the key to success. I like to compare it to somebody who's a car driver. I believe most of us here can drive a car, but this does not say that you are automatically a racing car champion. No, to be a racing car number one driver, you need to have some special kind of abilities, hard training, probably a lot of mental training and so on. And it's exactly the same here. All of us, or most of us, know how to sell puts, short puts. It's not difficult, it's easy. But when it comes to crisis, such as, let's say, snow on the street or sudden rain or whatever, then you will see who is able to navigate through this dust and who will drop out and lose the race. Then the big question will arise, is this person able to stand up again? Meaning, is the car fully destroyed? In this example here, it would mean, is your own portfolio or your own money that you can invest still available or completely lost? And if you still have the chance to stand up again, you need to decide if you really want that, if you have the power to do that, and especially if you are able to confront yourself with what just happened. This might take a while. To be honest, after my loss here in 2017, I was not sitting on my desk just the next day after that and saying, oh no, I have to analyze what went wrong and so on. No. It took me months because I was not able to open my software from Interactive Brokers, because this red logo they are having on their icon when you start the software reminded me too much of some warning messages they are issuing when something goes wrong and so on. There's always a red exclamation mark there. So you will or might have some kind of psychological barriers after some really crazy situations happened. And it will take a while to remount yourself, to get your things together, to stand up, and then you can come to a conclusion. And it takes a huge amount of, how do I call it, effort, let's say it like this, to really come back to trading, because at the beginning you're maybe a little bit insecure, you fear a little bit and say, oh, I hope this will not happen to me again. So you can see here, just when I came back to the market, I dropped even deeper. Yeah, so what's going on here? But no worries. No, I was believing in myself. So believe in yourself when you do this kind of options trading. And I'm always believing that on the long run, the markets will go up. So I just followed my short put selling strategy, very, very disciplined, and went to a new peak more than 200% higher than the previous one. And this is what I wanted to share with you in brief. I know it's a long video here, but that's really an exciting story, and it should give you a feeling that options trading, has several colors, several kind of aspects you need to keep in mind. So what you can clearly see from this video here, and also my performance curve, options trading is not a one-way road. However, if you believe in macroeconomical growth and developing world, you could say it is a one-way road, but it depends on your time horizon. Meaning, finally, in a growing and developing world, everything will go up unless the system stays the same as it is. However, if you look more into the details from year to year and from quarter to quarter, it might get pretty bumpy. So you need to really be disciplined there, know what you are doing, and especially know who you are. Really know your behavior in some special kind of situations, and constantly learn. So these are really very important factors. So I would describe my own performance curve, of course, in a financial point of view as successful, because bottom line, I'm clearly positive. However, this is a very good example, I would say, also that shows the personal development of myself as a human being. Because if I would have stopped somewhere, maybe in the middle, where you have seen, oh wow, this guy did not trade at all. He was analyzing himself, trying to find out what kind of mistakes he might have made or what kind of corrections he needed to have done in his personality. If I would not have been standing up again, it would have been a mess at some point. So I would describe the characteristic of a successful options trader to be the same as those of a CEO, Chief Executive Officer, because basically you are running your own business here. You are investing your own money, you're fully taking over the risk of what you are doing here in full consequence, and you need to have some kind of drive to achieve, to improve yourself, and then also, of course, get better results. So that's something you should keep in your mind, meaning it's not the market that's against you or the other traders who are better than you or whatever. No, it's only about yourself, your resilience, your ability to develop yourself, your ability to stand up again when some things occur that are maybe not in your favor. That's really my clear statement here. And this is also what I'm teaching here on my channel, Options to Retire, or optionstoretire.com in the internet. Thank you for joining. Have a good day, and feel free to see some other videos. Bye bye.